So far, we have been looking at the local side of glocal. Now we want to shift gears and talk about is our Great Commission challenge to take the gospel into the Samaria and the ends of the earth, as Acts 1:8 tells us. How are we doing on that front? And we listened in again on a great conversation that my friend Tom Telford and I had as we were talking about how well our church is doing in engaging the world. And I don't want to overstate or oversimplify, but after decades of ministry with contact of hundreds and hundreds of churches, Tom is pretty disappointed with the effectiveness of what we're doing on a global scale. So now we want to continue going. We want to stay focused on the local church because we're trying to rethink the bigger evangelism picture. But now we want to take a look at what are we doing evangelistically. So this time, again, I'm going to put you in research mode, and I want you to take that Acts 1:8 passage, and I want you to just start with a blank sheet of paper, put 4 columns on that sheet of paper, and follow the pattern that we have in Acts 1:8, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. And put 4 columns vertically on the paper, and then to the left side, I want you to see if you can get your hands on a copy of last year's annual report from your church. Now, what that's going to tell you is how all of your dollars were spent. It's a public information in most churches. It should be easy for you to get hold of a copy of that. But it's going to spell out where those dollars were expended. And so on the left side, I want you to begin to list vertically, one by one, all of the organizations, parachurch organizations, community groups, missionaries, mission agencies, anything that is remotely related to the topic of evangelism. I want you to identify those in a chart fashion, and then simply look at that annual report and plug into the appropriate column where that ministry occurred and which one of those categories, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, or uttermost parts of the world, where does that best fit? Now, it might be helpful for us just to make sure that we're all on the same page, that we're defining our terms the same way. When I think of Jerusalem, I'm thinking about where do you live? Where do the people live who are coming to your church? A Judea would be a little bit larger, but yet there's a lot in common. It may be your county, it may be your region, it may be your state. Samaria is a little bit larger. 2 key things. Let's think in terms of staying within the boundaries of the continental United States. And let's also think in terms of the fact that Samaria was a cross-cultural context. Okay? So that would fit a criteria for Samaria. Uttermost parts of the earth or ends of the earth is pretty well defined as another country with a cross-cultural connection. So plug in the dollars that are spent into the appropriate column right beside the ministry that you have identified. And we'll look forward to seeing what the outcome of that activity is.